Hello there, my name is HW, and thank you so much, my friends, for watching Tone Junkie TV. I'm right here, that's right. I was blending in. A little camouflage, probably couldn't see me there for a minute. We're talking today about trying to get that sound out of a single coil guitar. Now, this is a single coil guitar, but it's also got a humbucker in the back. This is an SSV in my Sir Classic S kind of guitar here. And I'm going through the 67 Proverb Ghost 3. So that's a revival drive. I had it set to something like a Marshall going into this Pro Reverb, 67 Pro Reverb. It's a profile you can get in the 67 Pro Reverb pack. It was free also if you're on the Tone Junkie email, so go check that out. You can follow along with me if you want. Go pause the video, go find your email. It's free, it's in there. Okay, check it out. How are we gonna make this humbucker, this really big fat humbucker, how the heck are we gonna get that sound on this guitar? This is gonna be challenging, my friends. Look, this is Goldie. You've seen it on the channel before. It's a great, great Stratocaster, but it does not do the mean fire-breathing dragon thing like we just heard. In fact, it's gonna sound like this. Here's on the bridge, full up. I've changed nothing on the profile. It doesn't sound bad, but it's a little down. It's a little like not quite where we want it. We want a little more. So here's what we can do. I want to try and turn this thing into a fatter, thicker, humbucker-y type thing. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, this is how to really get awesome rock, how to nail a humbucker sound, convince the audience, convince Eddie Van Halen if his eyes were closed that you have a humbucker. It's not quite that, but I want to talk about how to get a thicker thing out of this. So if you're not watching Rhett's channel, you definitely should be. He's doing a ton of really cool stuff. One of the things he's been talking about a lot lately is this idea of subtractive EQ, taking away stuff to get more of something else. You know, if you want more mids, try taking some high end away first. This is a really good application of that principle. By the way, if you're not watching Rhett's channel, Rhett is awesome. He makes incredible videos, and he is a genius because great minds think alike, and we have the same shoes. Okay, so obviously, strats are bright. They're kind of strident in the high end. So that is part of what we want to get rid of. So we want to really, first things we want to do is get rid of some of that upper presence we're not going to get with a humbucker. We want to try taking away some of that treble, right? We maybe even want to go for a little more of a rounded bass like a humbucker's going to have. But we could get there. Let me turn on this EQ. I've already adjusted some stuff in here. Look at this. Cutting the bass, cutting the treble, cutting the presence. Let's leave the mid-range alone. We're gonna boost that in a little bit. But now let's just listen. Big cuts on the presence and treble, and now let's just listen to the sound of this guitar just cutting. Do we get thicker? I don't know, you tell me. Here it is with the adjustments. Sounds more thick, our brain is hearing more of something, but we're really giving it less of something. Our brain is not hearing as defined, as much thin, high-endy, as much bass in this scoop as comparison. We brought down those two sides of the EQ curve, and now as we bring them down, where does that leave the mids? Untouched in the middle. Okay, I'm doing something else interesting on this profile, and this is a real Kemper trick. I'm actually, if you look at the EQ settings here, I'm actually going pre. Here's why. If I do this same sound post, it means we're putting the EQ after the amp block, and it sounds like this. What we want, see, those cuts could be too dramatic for doing it in the amplifier. Because what I really want to do is change this pickup into sounding like something else. I don't necessarily want to change the profile, meaning if I can, I want to edit what the profile sees in terms of EQ rather than editing what the profile is going to do. I don't want to make the profile do extra work by making it make up for this. I want to use the capability of the EQ block in the pre position, in front of the amplifier. Pre means pre-amplifier, post means post-amplifier. So I want to take this EQ block and actually move it here, which is what I'm doing when I hit pre. Now, it's kind of like having a Boss GE7 out in front of your guitar amplifier. It's like you're editing the tone before it hits the amplifier. I view that as an EQ for your pickups, right? This is an EQ for the Kemper. It's an EQ on this amplifier. In the past, I've talked about how this EQ is very much, it's more like almost like an EQ at a channel board, you know, or a channel at a board, you know, the EQ on the channel strip. Because it doesn't behave, you know, like a Vox AC30 would. It doesn't behave like a Plexi would. These are set frequencies in what it does. And actually, because it's digital, as you go up, it starts adjusting different frequencies at different points. But what we want to do is edit the sound of the pickups, because I want to make this thing not sound so much like this thing. So, okay, now that that's clear, I'm cutting the presence 3.1, I'm cutting the treble 1.7, the mid-range I'm trying to put at 0, and there it is. The bass I'm cutting by 2. And we have got a sound that is thicker now only by subtracting. In fact, if I turn on that soft shaper, now I'm getting back some of the gain I lost by going to a lower output pickup. We've taken away, but we've got more. The Kemper, it giveth and it taketh away. No, it taketh away and it giveth more mids. Is that how it goes? Okay, now let's pump up the mid-range. Let's pump up the mid-range. Here we go. I'm going to put that mid. We're getting aggressive here, okay? Mid-range, +2. Here we go. Oh, I thought I switched guitars for a minute because what? Hello, fire breathing. Tone, 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 tone. Okay, you get the idea. That is thick now, right? I mean, it's bigger. Come on. Come on. What? Goldie, how did you... You guys, what? We just made this thing super thick. Like, this is not what this guitar is for. No one's buying this guitar for that tone. To me, it's like this. Why is this useful? If you're on stage and you got to get that sound, you're in a cover band and you're like, but I need the cleaned up funky thing. You know what I mean? So I need this guitar. It's enough to get you there. It's more than enough to get you there in the mix to fool somebody. We could do more. We could take an EQ block and put it here and really adjust. In fact, we're going to do that on the next video. We're going to actually take some EQ blocks and we're going to make humbuckers sound more like single coils and single coils sound more like humbuckers. We're going to do that with EQ blocks. We're going to talk about ear candy frequencies and frequencies to trick your ear. But this is just showing how powerful subtractive EQ is, because even before we added all those mids, now look, we're adding mid-range. But before that, we're taking away everything else. We're taking away the stuff that gets in front of us, and you can see how to really thicken up these single coils. I mean, it's thick, it's fat, it's Goldie like you never heard her before. trick is move this EQ post, edit the guitar, and we can get some really, really thick, fat strat, fat telly, fat single coil sounds out of this instrument without switching guitars. There's a lot more we can do, but the biggest thing is taking away. We're going to make up for the gain a little bit because we are at a lower gain, so we want to get the same amount of gain, and then we'll boost at the very end. The boost takes it over the top, but the taking away of the treble, the presence, the bass, that's what makes it convince your ear that you are now hearing a different kind of tone. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It really it takes it from. It's almost like it's almost like Tone Junkie to Michael Britt in a way. Not at these extreme settings, but at a lesser degree. You know what I mean? You just throw in a little more mids, take out a little more of that high end. You got an Britt profile going. No, Michael is killing it right now. He is he has made some really, really special, fantastic stuff with that 2020 pack. Go pick that up if you haven't. Check this pack out if you haven't. This one's free. I got a bunch of free stuff coming out this week. And my dudes, we're giving away a Kemper with British audio. You better stay tuned for that. I have been HW. Yes, I had 2 coffees today. HW.